So the iPad Pro M4 is now available here in Canada, and yes, we were able to see it at the local Apple store here near in my place, and I'm really excited to share with you some of my impressions after my short hands-on at the store. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Jam of JamOnline.ph, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're gonna talk about the iPad Pro M4. So first of all, the brand new iPad Pro M4 now comes in 5.1 millimeters thin for the 13-inch variant. Of course, it's a little bit thicker on the 11-inch, but both of these tablets are still thin, and yes, they are thinner compared to the Huawei MatePad Pro 13.4 that we have reviewed before. So the thinness is actually one of its biggest features, but after using it for a while, I didn't notice it's 5.1 millimeters thin. I mean, it's just it's a tablet anyway. So I mean, I appreciate it. It's a tablet. It's portable, but it feels sturdy. It feels solid, and I do not have any issues with it. But here's the thing: if you're buying the iPad Pro just for the 5.1 millimeters thinness for the 13-inch, well, it's not really a big deal for me. Maybe it's just me, but the 5.1 millimeters thin body isn't just, something big for me. Now for the display, they're calling it the Tandem OLED display, and I can really say that it's brighter, it's better. The colors are great on this one. It's probably the best display that I've seen on a tablet. But here's the thing, the Tandem OLED display is probably not for everyone to appreciate. I mean, yes, you could appreciate it, but if you're using the previous iPad Pro M2 or even the iPad Pro M1, you would still appreciate the mini LED display. But of course, when we see the blacks, the OLED display has a really good color production for black. And as for the other colors, the vividness, for some normal consumers who just want to use their iPad Pro for watching videos, not really into the display, they might not appreciate that. They just might see it just another display, just another tablet display. But for professionals, which is the market for the iPad Pro, they would really appreciate, and personally, I love the colors, I love the brightness, I love the vividness of the new Tandem OLED display of the new iPad Pro. There's also this nano-textured glass on the 1TB and 2TB variant, which is similar to the paper matte display of Huawei, but this one's a little bit smoother. I prefer the paper matte when it comes to the texture, but from the looks of it, there was no glare on the 1TB and 2TB variant with the nano textured glass. I really like how they implemented it on the new iPad Pro. And if you're the type of person, or if you're the type of professional who always work outside or just beside a window, you would appreciate the nano textured glass on the new iPad Pro. Now for the back, it's pretty much similar when it comes to the design, but you will notice that we now have a single camera at the back. It's an ultra-wide camera. It's not that bad. I mean, considering that we have two cameras before, now we have one. I mean, there are only a few people who uses the rear camera of the tablet for mainly taking photos. So it's still nice to have that we got here an ultra wide camera. I mean, you could still use it for video calls, just taking some random videos or random photos. It's pretty much good for that aspect. But if you're planning to use it for like iPhone photography level, well, of course, don't expect too much from it. But nonetheless, the ultra wide camera at the back of the iPad Pro is still great, and for a tablet, this one is pretty good. Speaking of cameras, we also got here the selfie camera that is now placed on the side of the tablet, which is made for landscape mode, so you don't have an awkward framing when you're using the iPad Pro. So if you are using the iPad Pro M4 in landscape mode, especially with the Magic Keyboard, it looks better now. I mean, it does look good even from the previous generation, but it does look better now as the framing is now center and you don't have, an awkward eye contact to the tablet when you're on a video call. Now, speaking of the Magic Keyboard, we now have here the brand new Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro. This is different from the previous Magic Keyboard, as this one is only compatible with the current iPad Pro or the iPad Pro M4. Now, I want to talk about this because this one now comes with an aluminum palm rest. Not only that, it does have a feel of a MacBook when typing on it. Basically, they just want to have the same feel that you can get on a MacBook on the iPad Pro. And yes, it does come in two colors. Now it's thin, it's light, and the balance is still good, just like the previous generation. And we still got here the cantilever design. And unlike the previous generation, we now have more function keys, and we also have here more controls at the top of the keyboard. Now, I appreciate the aluminum palm rest on the new Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro, as it gives me the same feel of the MacBook. However, on the outside, it still has the rubbery-like feel, which I'm kind of scared that it might peel off after a year of usage. Take note, I'm an iPad Pro user, and I've been using the Magic Keyboard for years now, and the Magic Keyboard has peeled off much of its skin. Outside of that, you could see that there's the USB-C pass-through charging on the new Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro, which is pretty much similar to the previous generation. Unfortunately, no data for this. And outside, I appreciate that they've exposed the aluminum cantilever design on this one, which makes it a little bit premium and a good indicator on what version of Magic Keyboard it is. Going back, typing on it is again pretty much similar to a MacBook. The travel distance is really good. The response, the tactile response when typing on it is almost a MacBook-like. It's definitely different from the previous generation of Magic Keyboard, and I love typing on the new Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro. Now, here's the thing. The iPad Pro's hardware is really great. We got here a powerful M4 processor, which is capable of doing, of course, AI tasks, which is ready for iPadOS 18 and iOS 18. We also got here a very nice body, which is really thin, but of course, just don't bend it. It's basically something that can really run macOS, but iPadOS is still not there when it comes to desktop or MacBook level. The apps are still lacking when it comes to features. There are still some features on Safari Mac that I use that are not available on Safari for iPad, such as GeForce Now. We also got Citrix remote desktop that are not compatible with the current Safari for the iPad Pro. So basically, it cannot replace my MacBook when it comes to desktop or workstation applications. Now, as for the applications, I do appreciate that we got here at desktop level DaVinci Resolve that I always use even for editing. I actually use some of my videos for that, for editing. And then, of course, we got here the Better Logic Pro, and of course Final Cut Pro with AI. But unfortunately, those applications aren't enough to make the iPad Pro a replacement for a MacBook or a laptop. I believe that more applications should switch or should be ported from Mac to iPad to make it, you know, a desktop-like or a laptop replacement. But I believe the easier way is just to run macOS on the iPad Pro. So the iPad Pro M4 starts at $13.99 Canadian dollars for the 11-inch, $17.99 for the 13-inch, and of course for the Magic Keyboard, this one is priced at $399 Canadian dollars. So I guess that's it for our video for today. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be sure to click the subscribe button along with that bell button to get notified of our latest videos here in my YouTube channel. So once again, I'm JumPhJump Online.ph. Thank you for watching and see you guys again in my next video.